There have been a lot of card game activities in the last few hours that I want to talk about here. Now make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So when things ripple across all of the communities out here, when big important things happen, they ripple into other communities. I don't care if you pay attention to Magic the Gathering, if you pay attention to Pokemon, if you pay attention to, the OCG side of the game, these ripplings all have impacts out here on this sort of stuff. So starting things off out here, Magic the Gathering's huge commander ban list that just sent surges down the community by banning Mana Crypt and the Jewel. Now, why is this relevant for you? Well, it's interesting to see how, we look at Konami as a whole and we go, I hate this company, they're making me lose all of this money out here with these stupid ban lists and with these reprints. They're trying to get me to spend $55 on an SP Little Nightmare. Can you believe that out here? In comparison to Magic the Gathering out here, who these players have spent hundreds of dollars on their preferred version of Mana Crypt and all of these other cards out here, just with a sudden notice to have all of these players lose money. I have read countless comments today from players going, they just cost me like $400, $500 on Magic the Gathering literally overnight. Now this is just the average player. Boo-hoo, like, oh no, if the player lost money, the countless turmoil for the stores. I hate to tell you this, but if a company sends ripples down like this, and they are willing to destroy the secondary market with bans out of nowhere out here, you're going to force people into making their own list, making their own decisions out here, doing with their own friend groups so that they can choose to play however they want. You guys know that this is all important things to see in the card game world, right? Because this is where player distrust begins to build in companies out here. You can sit here and you can go, yeah, okay, so they just burned stores for a good couple $1,000s. It might be more than that. All right, the other thing out here is when bans like this happen, the true people go, oh, this is the time to hold these cards. You want to make sure that just because a branded Fusion Ultimate Rare went to, one, doesn't mean that I should immediately sell my other two copies. It means I should probably keep the playset in case the card comes back the way I, years down the line or whenever. I'm not frickin' frustrated AF, trying to find, where these cards and all of these sorts of things went out here. So that's player distrust is building in Magic, which is now going to send people to other card games. So when player distrust builds and you slaughter wallets like this, players then will go to other card games and start spinning on out here. It's the same thing. This is our Yu-Gi-Oh tie-in here. Same thing happened with the OCG ban list recently. This recent OCG ban list out here was the make it or break it point for a lot of players. Players wanted to see Snake Eyes Diabellstar finally go. And there were a lot of people that were looking at this list, genuinely, that were willing to head on over to other card games. And I do not blame them for that decision. Now, with the OCG showing, hey, we're starting to hit, we put Max C to 2 guys. We have listened to 10 years worth of feedback. And it's really funny to me because I swear the TCG gets bombarded with, please get rid of Maxi. Please get rid of Maxi. Nobody in the OCG wants to deal with Maxi. People in the OCG want to see this card get checked out of the game because it's degenerate. All right? It is unfair. It is unfun. It is a pain in the butt. And I understand that. All right? But this was Konami's, hey, we're going to show you a little bit of trust out here. We're going to show you that we want to test things out. And we want to build some trust in you. So we're going to take away the Maxi. That way that the player trust isn't going to look so skewed on their behalf here. Now, this is a good sign, in my opinion. I think that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not necessarily, fully comprehending the situation that they found themselves in out here, but don't be like Wizards of the Coast out here, who just made this bomb decision out here, looking at this stuff and going, hey, there is punishing your community and just wiping things out for sure, taking away all of this, but bad business practices are one thing. Cards that, people have collected, the trust and, vested interest in the fun that you have allowed these things to do, versus Yu-Gi-Oh! Out here, who is making, these decisions and having to, decide what we're going to do. Now, with all that being said, I wouldn't be surprised now. Thanks, Magic. You've just sent other players to other card games. And once again, I mean, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! I think also with this list, every list that comes around, people aren't going to be happy either. You're going to see people upset. They're going to be like, this is the final straw. You know what the final straw was? It was Masterpiece coming back. It's the same thing. I talk about people leaving literal turds on the floor out here for when Sky Striker Engage came back to 3. It was an irrelevant hit, but people are so emotionally invested. They're so emotionally frustrated with these swings in the games out here that are so irrelevant that they're just blinded by anger. They need something to be angry at. And even though they probably have had zero testing, they're so twiggered by the whole, oh my god, the last time Sky Striker was here, I got bodied at locals 3 times. I didn't get to go undefeated. I was X1. We can't have this anymore. Ban it, keep it banned. And it's that emotional impulse out here that makes me believe that no single person in the TCG should ever have the ability to make the ban list. Alright, that plays this game. I'm going to be honest with you. The players I've seen, and you guys wonder why I think the way I think. It's because I sit here and I sift through all of this information. I read all of these things daily that I see. And it really does put into perspective just how emotionally fueled these communities are and how impulsive they are, and not able to take a step back to look at some of the decisions that they are. Now, there's a thing with talking or speaking with your wallet, closing your wallet in situations where, the company burns you. I understand that, and I respect that. That's good. If you do not want to support a company that just cost you a couple $100s from your collection, understandably so. Don't do so. All right, but if a company out here is genuinely making this decision, and you're closing your wallet, and you're like, well, maybe for the betterment of the game, removing this card from the equation, even though I had higher rarity versions I've spent money on over time out here, is a little bit rough. With that being said, though, I also want to throw out here, Universes. All right, still. I went through and I found some really old cool stuff. I found some old demo decks that we had laying around out here, by the way, for this. Alright, look at how cool that is. I have a vested interest in like old card game metas for some reason. Maybe it's the older I've gotten, or maybe it's when you look at like these huge card pools available to these things, but Tekken cards just came out for the video game people out here. I did say this was a combination of things that have been kind of happening out here for the last, couple of days and hours. I think there are some really cool things out here to be said right now. I am excited to see where things are going to go here in the future with Universes. I'm excited to see what more they are going to release. I'm loving the fact that they have all of these mixed, Yu Yu Hakusho, Godzilla, and all of this. And they're making the right decisions right now. Game is incredibly small. It's a little bit complicated to learn. There's definitely some interesting systems in the game that make it interesting. But as of right now, their decisions with the way that they're handling their IPs, obviously they do a lot of erratas and things like that, but, you're learning. You are definitely handling things a lot better than you should. So, I would say, give that a nice little check out. That was my plug for Universes. So please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. Not everything is dog shit. It's just some things are dog shit. You just got to understand why it's dog shit. Wow. I am so poetic. You guys have a good rest of your day, alright?
Patrons! Thank you!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.